If you're getting annoyed at the slow growth rate of your YouTube channel, then even just making one of the mistakes I'm going to talk about in this video could be seriously holding you back. And how do I know that? Well, it's because I made every single one of them, and when I stopped doing them, things changed a lot. I need to warn you, some of these things are not going to be easy to hit, but they are the things I just wish someone had shook me and screamed in my face so I would actually have paid attention to them. So I'm going to hop in my time machine and take you back to the first big mistake. Oh yeah. Everyone thinks time machines are invented in the future. They weren't. They were invented in the 1800s by Harry McTime Machine, and they're kind of basic. There I am on my computer, spending more time trying to figure out why YouTube won't promote me and blaming it for another poor release. And that was my first massive mistake. But my retention's okay. Silly me. Because the problem wasn't YouTube. It was me. It's just blaming YouTube is way easier than blaming yourself. The thing is, that won't fix anything. Now, when I realized this and took 100% of the responsibility for how the channel performed, it instantly made me focused on what really mattered. You, the viewer. This realization was the trigger for fixing every other big mistake that I was making. Starting with producing too much content. So let's go back to January 2021 to talk about that, shall we? So that's me getting ready to film 17 videos in a day. 17. I was just focused on getting videos out rather than focusing on videos that built a connection with the viewer through higher quality and storytelling. Now, in some niches, you kind of have to make a lot of videos. For example, if you're a heavily news-based channel, you need to give the audience what they want, and that means fast-paced information on the day it breaks. Otherwise, it's not news, it's olds. But for the majority of others, you just have to trust that the more time and effort you put into your content, the more your viewers are going to enjoy it and the better it's going to work. But when we're in the system, it's so hard for us to sacrifice quantity. I found it tough anyway because I was worried that YouTube was going to punish me for not releasing as often, when in fact it was the exact opposite. So if you're posting 2 videos a week and you're getting really frustrated that your channel's not growing, why not try dropping it down to 1 a week and doubling up on the creativity and the storytelling? This extra effort will create a human reaction, which in turn will give YouTube the data that it really wants to see. I went from 3 videos a week to 3 to 4 a month. My views went from 135,000 a month to just over 1 million. The thing is, I knew, probably like you do, that quality was the thing to aim for. But for some reason, I just did nothing about pushing it to the next level. And I actually think that is the most common mistake creators make. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you're not growing at the rate you want, then you have to change something. That might be your strategy, it might be your production, but if you're hoping that eventually something will take off, what you're counting on is a lottery win. And that can be painful. Talking of pain, let's go back to the moment that almost broke me. This was massive. A few hours ago, I released a new video, and the video took me 2 weeks to make. And when I say 2 weeks, I mean every second of those 2 weeks, that video just completely consumed me. I couldn't sleep, I was just so wired. And I've never ever tried so flipping hard in my life for anything. And now Liv's home, and she's asking me how the video went. And that's the moment she broke down in tears. Because I just told her that nobody's watched the video. And she'd just seen how much it had taken out of me and how much it meant. And it genuinely hurt her seeing me crushed. Not my proudest moment. Oi! Stop being such a flipping baby and getting so bloomin' upset about YouTube, Ed. Oh, I'm getting upset about YouTube. This is supposed to be fun. All this frustration you're feeling, it's just getting in the way of you sitting down with a clear head and asking yourself, why didn't this do so well, and then just fixing it. It's not fair. You've got to let go of the emotion. Learn to love it when things don't go right. You will learn 10 times more from your failures than you will when things work out. You should be celebrating right now, because that tanking video holds the key to growth. You just got to spend the time analysing. Wow, thanks, me. I do have one question though. How do we do in the Euros this summer? YouTube is a jigsaw puzzle. And you don't start a puzzle because you want to make yourself angry. You do it because you want to enjoy the challenge. As soon as I started thinking like this, it just helped so much. Now, the next mistake I was making, some of the channel's viewers will have noticed the difference this made when I stopped doing it. And that was I was spending far too much time trying to learn about YouTube and hacking it, rather than learning about making better videos and studying how top creators make their content. Now, the bucket's getting very loud and annoying. I'm just gonna skip traditional B-roll now, because banging it gave me a headache. The
focus should be on making videos that people really enjoy. And yes, learning about the AI and how YouTube works is really important, but the AI doesn't feel anything. It can just track data. It can't track the size of the smile you put on someone's face or the way that you make them feel.
No keywords found.
If you focus on things like that, it will start to show YouTube the things it really wants to see. And I really think you should be out there watching your favorite creators or creators whose style you'd love to adopt and study them. Think about how they write, how they edit, how they present on camera, the type of things they do to make their videos more interesting. It doesn't even matter if they're in a different niche. If you're a dentist, for example, and you love Mr. Beast, start making videos called I gave myself 15 fillings. Who wouldn't click on that? If you're a business coach who loves Casey Neistat, turn your next video about the top 3 business mistakes into a story that involves you going surfing. And the final mistake I made was I was blending in. If you're doing everything the same as everyone else in your niche, you can't really be known for something. And that makes it easier for you to become forgettable, which is a critical error. I think you should start working on ways to push your content where other creators dare to go. And then once you've done all those things, you just need to make sure you don't crush your attention. And this video is going to make sure that you stay well clear of that.